Tonight, more details uncovered on the alleged murder of a 21-year-old woman, and a major financial backer of Sanjeev Gupta's GFG Alliance collapses.
From our 7 Spencer Golf Studios, your nightly news with Ruby Kamane begins now.
Good evening. First tonight, we go to a story making national headlines, with more details emerging on the alleged murder of a 21-year-old woman just 40 kilometres north of Hawker in the Flinders Ranges. Our reporter Katrina Musson has more.
More has been uncovered into the alleged murder of an aged care worker, more than 430 kilometres from her home. This is Jasmine Kaur, the 21-year-old woman whose body was found in a shallow grave at Mural Creek, just 2 days after she was reported missing by her auntie. Police say she was last seen at around 10 p.m. on Friday, leaving work at Southern Cross Care in North Plympton. Yesterday, her workplace released this statement, saying Jasmine was a much-loved and respected member of our team, and that she was a beautiful soul and was always so kind and sweet to residents. She will be sorely missed. Court documents reveal police suspect Jasmine was possibly murdered at Parachilna or another location during a 4-day period. While investigations are ongoing, police are asking anyone with information to contact Crime Stoppers. A 20-year-old Karalta Park man, whose name is suppressed, fronted the Port Augusta Magistrates Court yesterday via video link, charged with murder. He made no application for bail and will face court again in December.
Sanjeev Gupta's GFG Alliance is currently in discussions to secure alternative long-term funding after one of its biggest financial backers collapsed. GFG says while it created a challenging situation, the Alliance reassures locals it has adequate funding for its current needs.
An all too familiar situation for the Steel City.
Well, it's clear that GFG's financier has gone into administration, and that does create problems.
Sanjeev Gupta's GFG Alliance, who owns the Whyalla Steelworks, now in talks after losing one of its biggest backers, Green Steel. A spokesperson in a statement says while this takes place, it has asked all its businesses to manage cash carefully. Also saying GFG as a whole is operationally strong and is benefiting from a 13-year high in steel prices, as well as strong markets in aluminium and iron ore. But the member for Giles, Eddie Hughes, says it's the uncertainty which is concerning.
This is a rapidly evolving situation given the complexity of the financial arrangements that have been entered into internationally. So there is no clarity at this stage about what the full implications are going to be.
Also saying what he is certain about is Australia's steel and mining industry continuing to make money.
We're seeing some expansion to the port here in Whyalla with third-party use and infra build in the eastern states.
The federal member for Grey, Rowan Ramsey, says although the news is unsettling, locals don't need to be overly concerned at this stage.
Mr Gupta says he has operating capital for Whyalla at the moment, for the Australian operations at the moment, so that's good news.
Sophia Contagonis, 7 Spencer Golf News.
The first round of COVID-19 vaccines has been rolled out in Port Pirie at the local GP medical clinic today. Frontline healthcare workers are the first to receive the jab in the community. The member for Frome, Jeff Brock, says he's thrilled Port Pirie is one of the first regional locations to receive the vaccine.
I welcome it. It's been a journey and a half, and I've always said that our communities have done extremely well. South Australia has done well, Australia's done well, but we need to be not complacent.
SA Health will be releasing more information in the coming weeks. A 28-year-old New South Wales man has lost his licence after allegedly speeding at Manor Hill on Monday night. Just before 5, York Mid-North Police detected a motorist travelling at 119 kilometres per hour in a 110 zone. The driver allegedly recorded a blood alcohol reading of 0.102. He'll appear in court at a later date. Still to come tonight, contractors now slapped with hefty fines for leaving traffic signs out, and a local member calls for upgrades on the Augusta highway. Welcome back. South Australia's road contractors could now face a fine of more than $1,000 if they don't remove speed limit signs when not required. The new regulations, part of the state government's road safety initiative, aiming to keep both workers and motorists safe on our roads.
No more unnecessary speed limit changes on our regional roads. It's the latest South Australian measure, with roadworks currently underway across our highways.
We want to make sure that as these works are being done, we're having the least impact on getting people where they need to go.
Starting this week, fines of up to $1,250 can now be issued to any contractor who breaches their permit conditions.
If contractors that are working on these projects put their signs out and leave their signs out longer than they need to, or leave the signs at a low speed limit when they could be put up to a high speed limit, making sure all things are safe, then they will be fined.
Infrastructure and Transport Minister Corey Wingard says the new measures comes as the state government rolls out a multi-billion-dollar infrastructure spend.
We're investing $16.7 billion in infrastructure. It's the biggest infrastructure spend this state has ever seen. And we know it's important at this time, one, to generate jobs, and two, build the infrastructure we need.
Also saying the new changes will take effect across several regional projects.
Things like the Joy Belush Bridge, the overpass at Port Wakefield, heading to the York Peninsula as well, crashed corner there. Plenty of work happening on the Augusta Highway as well.
Sophia Contagonis, 7 Spencer Gulf News.
Meanwhile, there are calls for proposed Augusta Highway upgrades to be fast-tracked, with the road busier than ever. The state government is injecting funds, but the member for Frome is urging plans need to get underway.
A road busier than ever. Thousands of motorists use this highway every day, and now local leaders say their frustrated plans to duplicate the highway haven't been released.
7 or 8 kilometres of undulating road. It's on a national highway. There's probably 6,000 or 8,000 cars a day, including semi-trailers, B-doubles and also caravans.
The REA welcoming the duplication funding following a horror few years for the highway.
Improve the safety on this very busy corridor, which carries a very high percentage of the heaviest of the heavy vehicle traffic to the north of the state.
Jeff Brock says he saw a potential incident firsthand as he was driving behind a B-double truck just days ago.
Back trailer hit one of these undulating sections, and the trailer actually swerved across into the oncoming traffic. Now, just very lucky there was no oncoming traffic coming the other way.
In a statement, the Transport Minister says more information will be revealed soon, with plans for the works to be up for tender in the next week. Some say it's a matter of urgency.
We need to get that road done as a matter of urgency and stop procrastinating about it, stop making excuses and just start the construction and employ the people out there now.
Shari Hams, 7 Spencer Gulf News.
Young rugby league fans in Broken Hill had the chance to learn from the best at last night's Far West Active Fest. More than just a game, the clinic also encourages conversations around mental health.
Rugby league hitting the region.
Try and knock the ball off.
Broken Hill's NRL hopefuls polishing their skills in front of the professionals.
We actually had a tackle rugby league gala day and a girls league tag gala day today for all the local high schools, which was fantastic. We've got a primary school league tag gala day as well.
Smiles on faces, showing the importance of fostering local sport.
Exercising, playing sport, getting in a team environment, you don't realise how much they appreciate your talent or appreciate your presence.
But for all the fun and games, there was a serious side. Nathan Blacklock joining support groups including Mission Australia and the Black Dog Institute, encouraging conversations with children about mental health.
And just let them know that we all have self-talk, and then if it is negative, then seek help.
The sad reality, suicide is one of the leading causes of death for those aged 5 to 17.
Young kids at this young age should be out enjoying life. So I think as a community, only we can as a community fix that.
This event all about encouraging conversations and bringing colour to the lives of children.
We all know that sport and your mental well-being goes hand in hand, so if you're out being physically active, there's a good chance that you're going to be spiritually and emotionally active as well.
The benefits clear last night. And if you do need support, Lifeline is available on 13 11 14. Lachlan Itter, 7 Spencer Gulf News.
Stay with us after the break. Crowds allowed back at Broken Hill ANZAC Day services. And a Port Lincoln business allows customers to pay it forward and lend a hand. Hello again. ANZAC Day will look and feel normal in Broken Hill after COVID-19 forced services to be cancelled last year. The RSL encouraging locals to return to the War Memorial to honour our current and fallen servicemen and women.
Returning to the cenotaph as life returns to normal. ANZAC Day 2021 going ahead in Broken Hill.
It should be just about the normal it was a couple of years back. We'll keep in with the police and the state regulations.
With a capacity limit of 5,000 people, a full day of services and commemorations is planned for April 25. The community coming together once again after a COVID-induced cancellation last year.
It was great, the people all standing out in the front of their driveways with lights and fires and, you know, different things like that.
But now a return to tradition. There'll be a march and dawn service on Argent Street, followed by other services across town. The RSL also planning a Friends of ANZAC lunch to allow families to acknowledge veterans who've passed or can no longer march.
We want the families to come up and have a meal with us and be their day.
Their story's now vital in keeping the ANZAC spirit alive more than a century after the Gallipoli landing.
Yeah, we've got 5 veterans left in Broken Hill from the Second World War. And that's it, and Vietnam veterans and then Somalia and all the Timor and all those veterans.
And as last year showed, even a pandemic can't stop Australians from marking the day our nation grew up.
ANZAC Day is the most important day in Australia's history, on Australia's calendar, and I want to keep it that way.
Lachlan Itter, 7 Spencer Golf News.
A Port Lincoln restaurant is spreading a little kindness to those who need it most through a new Pay It Forward initiative. In just a few weeks of being open, dozens of meals have been given to those doing it tough.
Cooking up a storm for those who need it most. Port Lincoln business Regal Chickens handing out free meals to whoever wants them, with customers able to pay forward a warm meal.
If we all change a little bit, if we all do a little bit, it makes a big difference.
You just feel like you're part of the community and there is someone that cares for you.
The owners only opened last month, but say they've already received a wave of support for the program, with dozens of meals already being handed out.
They're buying drinks, they're buying salads, they're buying whole chickens, chicken hot packs, which is a chicken meal with vegetables.
Feel good about yourself that you're sharing a little bit of kindness.
They say the small gesture can be incredibly heartwarming for those who need it, with no judgment or fear.
It means that they can potentially feed their family and their kids that night. They don't have to stress about where they're going to get a decent warm meal.
Paula says she would love to see the initiative expand across the city, relishing the chance to bring out the best in people.
It only takes a couple to make the change, and then the change goes on for everyone.
Nathan Rector, 7 Spencer Golf News.
A new vibrant mural is popping up along a busy street in Port Augusta's CBD this week. It's hoped the piece will help draw visitors to the community and learn about the town's history through art.
Adding a splash of colour to the city. What was once a plain wall on Jervois Street, now to be transformed into a piece of art, helping to entice visitors to Port Augusta.
When tourists come past, they could embrace the beauty that is on our walls, and they might want to stay a while and just walk around and have a look.
From water representing the Spencer Gulf to representations of gathering places, this piece signifying a hidden meaning.
Port Augusta's kind of a sort of a gathering place for people who are on a journey from one place to another, and so we've got sort of a couple of elements of that represented in here.
The one on the left side is a rainbow cockatoo, which is native to Port Augusta, and the other end is a bee-eater, which is also a native bird.
The project, funded by Uniting Country SA, seeing the work of award-winning organisation Sanar return to the city to paint another mural.
We wanted to come back and continue working in the community, and also big thanks to the Port Augusta community for allowing us in and welcoming us and giving us some really great wall space.
For this Indigenous artist, he says it's really important for him to be back in the city and making a mark for his community.
And keeping the traditions of my Aboriginal community of painting on cave walls and stuff going by having the opportunity to paint on a wall.
Council is calling on local businesses to offer plain walls as canvases.
We want a business to come forward to say, hey, we have a wall here or we have a wall there, and come along and let us know so that we can, work out other projects that may happen.
Katrina Musson, 7 Spencer Gulf News.
Stay with us after the break. Lachlan Itter will bring us all the prices from the petrol pump, and we'll have the weather details with Alex. Welcome back. While fuel prices have climbed across many parts of our region once again, there is relief in sight for some motorists. Here's Lachlan Itter with the details in this week's Fuel Watch.
Broken Hill normally gets the rough end of the deal when it comes to fuel prices, but there's some good news in the Silver City this week. It's our only regional centre where the cost of unleaded has dropped. It's only a few cents less than last week, now $1.39, but we'll take that small win. Adelaide's ups and downs continue, fuel down to $1.24 in the city. At the other end of the spectrum, Port Lincoln's prices have jumped to $1.37. That's actually a relatively large increase. Kadina also seeing a similar price hike, now up to $1.34. Minor changes across the rest of the region. Whyalla $1.35, $1.34 in Port Augusta, and Port Pirie still the best option if you do need to fill up the tank. You'll pay $1.32 a litre there. Over to diesel now, and while there's no price drops here, the ship has levelled in some parts. Port Augusta and Port Pirie both unchanged from last week, $1.31 and $1.30 respectively. Broken Hill, the most expensive town to fill up, climbing to $1.42. There's been a slight increase in Whyalla, where you'll pay $1.33. Port Lincoln's $1.30, $1.33 in Kadina, both a few cents more than this time last week. If you're heading to the Big Smoke, expect to pay $1.26 a litre there. Finally to Auto Gas, and we'll get the bad news out of the way first. Prices in Port Augusta and Port Pirie have gone up ever so slightly. Port Augusta just under 98 cents a litre, 92 cents in Port Pirie. Port Lincoln and Whyalla unchanged at the dollar mark. Kadina and Broken Hill 91 cents. Drivers in Adelaide are paying 80 cents to fill up in the capital, an increase of around 1.5 cents from last week. Remember, of course, that these prices are the regional averages and do not reflect any one particular outlet. But if you do spot unleaded, diesel or auto gas cheaper, be sure to let us know on our Facebook page.
Time now to take a look at what's happening in the weather. Here's Alex Sykes.
Thanks, Ruby. Showers across most parts of the Gulf today. From 3 p.m, Broken Hill reached a top of 28 showers and was a max of 29 in Port Pirie, a shower or two in Clare and a top of 23. Looking further out across the region now, Port Augusta, a shower or two and 28 degrees, a top of 22 in Whyalla. Port Lincoln 20 degrees, showers in Woodner 21, a top of 17 in both Kadina and Cleve. Cooper Pedy sunny and a max of 34 degrees. Taking a look at the satellite image now, a mass of cloud over Western SA is slowly moving east with the movement of a weakening trough taking rain and the odd storm with it. Only light rain is reaching the southern coasts. Cloud in the northeast in a trough is generating thundery showers. It is dry in the southeast. Moving on to tomorrow's weather outlook now, and we'll start with the Gulf waters. Southeasterly winds 10 to 15 knots, seas 1 to 2 metres, and south to southwesterly swell below 1 metre. Mainly fine conditions across the Gulf tomorrow. Port Lincoln set to reach a high of 25 degrees. Cleve set to top 27, Woodner 31, Whyalla sunny 28, Port Augusta set to reach a top of 31 degrees, Kadina a top of 29, Port Pirie sunny 31, Clare a max of 29, and Broken Hill forecast to reach a max of 30 degrees. Taking a look further through the week now, sunny and a top of 39 in Cooper Pedy on Friday, a max of 32 in Broken Hill, 37 in Port Augusta, 33 in Whyalla, and cloudy conditions in Port Lincoln, Woodner, Kadina and Adelaide. To the weekend forecast now, rainy conditions across the Gulf on Saturday, a max of 25 in Port Pirie, Kadina and Adelaide, 27 in Cooper Pedy, Whyalla a max of 26 degrees and 23 in Port Lincoln. Conditions clearing on Sunday, cloudy and 25 in Cooper Pedy, a max of 22 in Port Augusta and Woodner, 21 in Broken Hill, Kadina, Whyalla and Port Lincoln, and a cloudy max of 19 in Adelaide. So Ruby, it looks wet and cloudy on the weekend with mild temperatures. That's not what I ordered, but I guess you can't always get what you wanted. That's all the weather from me for tonight. It's back to you.
Wonderful, thanks for that, Alex. And before we leave you tonight, a ferry visitor had a spring in his step, hopping through an empty street in Tumby Bay. The marsupial sussing out the surroundings, checking out some of the new street art lining the walls. Locals say it's a rare sight to see a kangaroo in town. And that's our local news this Wednesday evening. Thanks for joining us. I'll have updates later. Until then, enjoy your evening. Good night.